Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a tag that everybody has already done. It is the subscribers pick my makeup challenge, and this is the products that you picked. So I put on Instagram and then Twitter as a backup in case there were ties, but there weren't. On my Instagram story, like polls of this or that sort of thing. Also because I don't have, like a huge variety of makeup as well, so I didn't want you guys choosing something that I didn't even have, and then it would even take that much longer to film this video. Are you okay? So I chose things that I already have in my collection and then asked you guys to pick one or the other. So that is what we're doing today, and I hope that you like this look and that you like to be a part of this look and a part of this challenge with me. I got a lot of votes on it, on Instagram mostly, not so much Twitter, which I thought was really, really exciting, and that made me super, super happy that you guys were, including yourselves and actually taking part in this look. So one of the questions on there was if you wanted like a bronzy, neutrally look or a colorful look, and I put colorful on there hoping that you guys would pick colorful, and you didn't, because dark, neutral, bronzy eyes are kind of my bread and butter. Maybe not so much dark, but definitely bronzy and neutral type of eyes are totally what I'm good at. Colorful is not what I'm so good at, and maybe that's why you chose this, because you knew I wouldn't be good at it. I wanted to challenge myself still. That is kind of something that within the last, couple of weeks that I really decided that I wanted to do in my life and on my channel. So I decided to do a really dark bronzy halo eye, and this is so smoky and I love it. So I actually really like the way that this look turned out, and if you do too, then please make sure that you give it a big ol' thumbs up. Other than that, my lighting's really weird today, but let's get into the video. So the first thing that you guys picked was the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation. No, why? I keep forgetting. Primer. So I gave you an option of the Becca First Light Priming Filter, which is the one that you picked, or the Cover FX Blurring Primer. And you picked this one. Preferably, if I were to compare the two, I prefer the Cover FX one. This one does fine, but I really don't see much of a difference when it comes to primers. Cover FX, I actually notice a blurring aspect in it. This does kind of give me a nice little glow in, my makeup and my foundation, so I guess that's kind of what it's supposed to do, and I see that, but do I see any longevity? No. But however, I put this on, worked out fine. So then I went in with the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation, and I gave you this or my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and I gave that as an option because I haven't used it in a while, so I thought maybe you guys would be interested in that. And I use this one all the time. However, you guys still picked this one, and I'm alright with it because it's like my favorite foundation, and I never thought I would like it as much as I did. So I put that all over my face with my Y6 brush and blended that baby out. So next I went in with my Tarte Too Faced... What did I just say? Next I went in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm in the shade Light. I'm in the shade Light Beige right now, in my foundation, which is perfect for the tan that I have on my skin. This light concealer, not so much. If you guys watched my really blue smoky eye that I did, you see that my concealer was super bright because I put way too much on. Incredibly way too light in my opinion. Some of you liked it. Thank you, but So I learned my lesson when I was putting it on this time, and I put on a very, 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 very small amount. Now, if I'm being completely honest, my Tarte Shape Tape and my ColourPop No Filter Concealer are literally the exact same. They are so full coverage, and that is wonderful. Except the ColourPop is a lot more inexpensive than the Tarte Shape Tape, and if I'm honest, I prefer ColourPop over the Shape Tape. I know, and I love Tarte, and this was definitely my tried and true before they came out with that ColourPop one. However, it's still great. It just creases a lot on me, and the ColourPop one doesn't. So in case maybe you guys haven't ever tried out ColourPop concealer, now you know it's exactly the same at a very much cheaper price. I did just put that on, and I blended it out underneath my eyes, and then I took the excess down my nose and on the top of my lip and, you know, in between my eyebrows, and to brighten up that as well. So I went ahead and set my foundation and my concealer, and I really don't have like a huge wide variety of setting powder, so I really didn't think that would be fun for you guys to choose. So next we'll go right into bronzer, and you guys chose the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which is literally the best thing in the world just by the scent. Now, I'm glad you did that because I do not really like my Benefit Hooler bronzer, but I wanted to pick one that I don't use all the time, so you guys had a better variety on my channel. And the only reason I don't like that one is because it pulls a little bit too orange on me when I don't have any color. Right now, it's okay. However, this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, I went in the shade Bronzer, which you have to build up this bronzer, and that's what's kind of frustrating to me. But once you do build it up, I think it's a very nice, pretty, like summer glow type of bronzer, and I absolutely love that. And I just applied it with my e.l.f. highlighter bronzer because I like that one. To apply bronzer with. So next I gave you the option between my Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation, I can't talk, blush in the shade Feisty, which I didn't say the shade name on there, but that's the one that I put a picture of, and between my Pretty Vulgar one in the shade Hush blush. Now they are both beautiful blushes. I love blush. I have yet to find a blush that I don't like unless there's glitter in it. However, I have not used this one in forever, and that is the one you guys chose. And it is just such a pretty, nice, give some flush to the cheeks just to bring some life back into your skin. It just melts beautifully into the rest of your look that I absolutely love. So thank you for picking these. And then for highlight, I gave you the option between the Anastasia Beverly Hills and XOxo, but I don't know if I'm saying that wrong because I hear other people say it like XOxaMrezy. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but I've always said it XOxaMrezy. So, I apologize. Or between my Ofra Cosmetics highlight in the shade Rodeo Drive, which everybody tells me that's Rodeo Drive. You guys always correct me in the comment section, so I guess it's Rodeo, but I've kind of been boycotting it because it's spelled like rodeo. However, you guys picked the one, the only, the beautiful XOxaMrezy highlights. I love this. Can you not tell? I mean, look at that. This is one of the best highlights that I am fortunate enough to own, and thank you for choosing this. The Rodeo Drive one is just as beautiful, just not as blingy, and this one is the best. And I just applied that with my Morphe M438 brush. So then on to the eyes. I lost the palette for a minute. I used my Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, which it always just takes the light away from my face, but that's okay. It should. So this it needs cleaned. She's a little dirty. She needs a little cleaning. That palette is one of my favorites, and I gave you the choice between the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe one or Anastasia Beverly Hills one. Modern Renaissance one. Which both are like cult favorites in my opinion, and they are tried, they are true, they are amazing. I am not centered. And on Twitter you guys had picked the Modern Renaissance one, but on Instagram, which is where I was pulling from first, you picked the Jaclyn Hill one, which I absolutely love both eyeshadow palettes. Sometimes because I have my Jaclyn Hill in a different drawer than the rest of mine just because it's bigger and it doesn't fit in there with it. I sometimes forget, unfortunately, so I was really excited to be able to use this. I don't know the shades of any of these or the names of any of these shades. When I bought these palettes, I had given one to you guys, and I brought one for myself at the same exact time, but they only gave me like one little pamphlet that had the names on it, and I gave that to you because I like you guys. And so I went ahead and just like pointed and showed you, so that's what I'm going to insert now. But first I went in with this transition shade, and that is just the first thing that I use, and I really worked to buff that into the lid as well and into the crease, not the lid, just the crease. And I applied it a couple of times to give it a nice transition-y shade, but also give it some color, because the first two applications when I put on this color, it just doesn't really show up on my skin tone, because it's very similar to my skin tone that I already have. But when I get to that third or that fourth, you know, layer of really blending that into my crease, that's really when I start to see a really nice, you know, transition color in my crease. So from there, I went to the second row, third color, and I used the same exact brush, my Morphe R37, and I buffed that into the crease, but didn't take it as high as that original shade that I used. And so I only put that, you know, a couple of times and just, you know, really blended it back and forth. I really wanted these two colors just to really like blend together where I was applying them on top of each other and just really be seamless and flawless and beautiful. So then I went to the fourth row Lash shade all the way to the right, and I put this in the crease, just very in the crease with a crease with a very small, precise blending brush, so it didn't go too high, it didn't go too low, and I took it on the corners of my eyelids because I was creating that halo eye. And that's where you pull the color down, but leave the center open, because you're gonna pop, you know, typically a brighter shade in there or a shimmery shade, which is what I did later on. So I just packed that on with the side of the brush. What I like about it is pointed, so you can use that to kind of pack it and then also blend it. So I like to really blend it in my crease, and then I will pack it on the sides and really like focus right here and bring those two colors together as well. So it's nice, seamless, halo-y. So from there I went to the last row, the third to last shade on the right, and I just used that to kind of deepen up my corners, and when I blended it, I kind of took it into the crease just the same way I did the previous shade, just to create a little bit more darkness, a little bit more depth, so I could create a really smoky, but also really darken my outside of my halo eye. And then from there, I went into the third row, third shade on the left, and I first applied, you won't see this, but I first applied it with my finger, didn't really pack a punch, and I really like, this is the bronzy-ish, like a coppery bronzy in my opinion, color that I brought into this. I love a lot of her shimmer shadows in here. This one probably isn't my favorite. So as you can see, this is what it looks like, but that's after wetting my brush, and it just doesn't pack a punch like the other ones do when they're wet. It's a little bit more subtle in comparison to like this gold shade right here, which even in comparison, like you can see a slight difference in them. So I was expecting, you know, the punch from this one, but didn't quite get that, unfortunately, which it's fine. I still like the look that I came up with, but it just wasn't where my, you know, my mind was envisioning this look to go. So then to also brighten it up, I went into the third row, and it's the very first shade on the left, and just popped that with my finger into the very, very center of my eyelid, so it isn't so dark. And that just really, you know, brings some life to it. I did take a brush and kind of buff the edges of where I put that shimmer shadow, and then I used my fingers and kind of like buffed out that brightening shade that I used on the center of my lid, just so it wasn't so like there. So then from there, I used the two top shades in the what do you call it? The left row, or what? The left corner, and the one that's in the very, very left, you know, in the corner is what I use for my brow bone, and that is my favorite to really highlight the brow bone in this palette, because it's a little bit more muted and not as stark white, but really packs a punch. And then the one right next to it is what I use as my inner corner highlight. Now, all in all, I really love how this look turned out. It's definitely not in my comfort zone. It's very, very dark, and I don't mind it. I love it. Oh, I should probably talk about the lower lash line. So all I did was take that pointed brush that I was talking about that didn't really have any color left on it. It was just like leftover residue color, and ran it along the entire lower lash line. And then I took that very, very darkest shade that I used and ran it on the corner. Then I took that white blending brush that I was using from the get-go with that transition shade on it still, just a little bit, and really like buffed out underneath all of those colors. Those two colors that I put underneath of my eye as well. So from there, we only have a couple of things left to talk about, and I guess the second to last is the mascara that you chose. So I gave you an option between the Tarteist, I don't even know, like Lash Paint, I believe, mascara, and then the Urban Decay like cream color. It was a blue color that I have, obviously. And I was like, part of me was really hoping that you would pick out the colored one just to be different, but you didn't. You went with the safe one, which was this Tarte one. And this is just not my favorite mascara. It really doesn't do incredibly too much for my eyelashes. It will like give a little bit of length to them, but I prefer a little bit of chunkier mascara just to really volumize them. And I have learned that if I curl my eyes twice, then they don't fall as easily. Now if I only curl it once and put this mascara on, they are like down. But my lashes just aren't long enough to make this mascara look good, honestly, because a lot of people like it. It's just not my favorite. And last but not least, for the lips, I gave you two options between the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick Ludwig and the ColourPop times Kathleen Lights, whatever, Revere. And that one's a really red, and the Ludwig one is a nude. So, I mean, I guess you figured out which one you picked. And that is the Kat Von D Ludwig Nude shade. So, I will say I'm grateful because the red would have looked fine, but it would have been a dramatic eye and a dramatic lip, and that would kind of clash. However, I love that color, so like my heart is just kind of true to it. But anyways, I still love this Ludwig liquid lipstick as well. It's very pretty, it's very neutral, and it kind of like brings the attention to the eyes instead of bringing it to the lips, which I think is good for this kind of look. I think this color would look really pretty with a gloss on top of it, and I guess that's kind of what I would have wished in hindsight to give us a second option. All in all, I absolutely love the look that you guys created. I just put it on my face, and I did alright at that, I think. But yeah, that is everything for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this challenge video, and if you did, please make sure that you give it a big thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit those little post notification bells so you don't miss my videos, because you will if you don't have those on. Just saying. But yeah, that is everything for this video, and I will see you guys next time. Love you guys.